All right, everybody, let's get right to it. Welcome back here on a Tuesday. What's going on? Great to see everybody back in the chat, and we are here Tuesday, Thursday. It's our live harmonic pattern podcast, number 217. We're going to talk about some potential harmonic patterns today. So get on in here. Yeah, a little bit of late start, but that's why you subscribe, get the notifications, hit the like button if you enjoy what you're seeing. I'll go about an hour today. So we'll get to crypto. Big crypto meltdown, I guess, if you want to call it that, or type 2 retest. Looks terrible, right? Maybe not so bad. We'll get into that. Really quick, folks, the big stuff I want to start with today with the QQQs, really kind of big harmonic technical information that we want to pay attention to is the fact that we hit our hop level off the bat pattern at 356.06. So that's it's probably the maximum level I think any of us expected for this move. We've been looking for a move to 346, but we'll see. We painted a yellow dot on Friday, or was that Thursday? Oh no, you go all the way back. Wednesday was the dot. So, a lot going on here. What's going to happen at this hop level? I'm looking for a pause. We should always look for a pause at a minimum on a first test, but 356.06, that's just incredibly important. As most of you know, I've been talking about these top levels and hitting all of these first targets in an aggressive manner. And the only thing above here is a big 886. So been sharing that with the members, and a lot of the things we've been doing with the premium stuff is just saying, hey, let's target the market continuation. It's either here at about the 50% level, which is where the Qs are. They're back there at a 50% retracement, or 886. That's the definition of BAM, bat action magnet move. It works like that. It's part of the framework. So we're either looking at this 340 level or 395. You tell me. A lot there for today. Or do anything on a midday setup yet? Well, look at what we have here. Right? A little back to the future. Look at what we have here. Type 1 shark, folks, goes to a 5-0. For today, I would think that's about it for now. Perfect 5-0. This is where shark morphs into a 5-0. There's your confirmation. Maybe come back to 352.90. That's 2 and change lower from current levels, so certainly not looking up for today. I'd rather see that retest. Also, shared this yesterday with the premium members. Going to share it with everybody. Come Thursday, I will have the full rollout for our option webinar, which will be on June 30. It's going to be available to all new subscribers or anyone that's purchased HPC software in the last 90 days or current Harmonic Trader Gold Silver subscribers. If you have any questions, reach out to me on the Discord. And as a matter of fact, let's get this out of the way. Go to harmonictrader.com. I'll have information about that webinar by Thursday. And do sign up as a basic member. That's where everything begins. And get with the software, minimum HPC for TradingView, and send your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com to get that free 2-week trial. And then if you want to get set up with the option platform that I'm using, click on the eSignal button there. Again, take the free trial first, but this is paid data, so you have to sign up. I know it's not, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but that's how it goes. That's how it used to go for years, but it's the best data. So if you can afford it, I recommend it, and you have to subscribe to the basic package plus options. Click on this page because we do have, we are a partner with Interactive Data, where right here, okay, click there to get the 25% discount on the data. That's directly through us. And Divergent Software, that's our partner. All right, get with that, folks. Get with the software, get with Harmonic Trader. You know the deal. All right, let's get back on it. For today, I was posted a couple of things early in the Discord, and really quick, this kind of good segue from the option announcement into an option play from this morning that I had posted. So here's perfect type 2 Gartley on the 5-minute. And I want to show you one of the option plays. I'll show you two. One that I'm looking at right now. Looking at Netflix right now. I'll come back to that in a second. But take a look at the patterns we had on the Meta contract. Where are we? The Meta 290s. It was amazing. And this is the kind of thing I'm catching more and more of. And I think it's a better, I have a better understanding because I've never combined the contracts, the time frames with HSI confirmation patterns like this. But listen, here was this morning's trade on your the 290s. Okay, beautiful deep regular crab, and I had posted this earlier in the week. Type 1 comes back for a type 2 on the Gartley and opened up right in the zone. Bang. Okay, to 60 cents is a 3x by lunch. That was a 3x off the low by lunch. That's the beautiful thing about options. You're positioned right, you catch the moves. 1x, 2x, good enough for me. I always think that if you are at least double your contract premiums, you probably should be selling half blindly. Let the other half ride for free. I'll talk all about this in the seminar, stuff that I'm doing. Sometimes, look, we've got our levels down here, your big pattern zone, terminal bar, hop level on the crab, 22, 25 cents. Targeting to go back to at least 40. In this case, it was more than a double above 50. And you have yet another setup, and I wanted to share this with everybody. Look, this is still a valid play. In fact, the 54-cent target one has basically capped it, but let it come back down. That 29, 25-cent area. I still think we get a type 2 up to target 2. And that's off of, again, we want patterns in the option contract. You want patterns in the symbol. And there you go. I mean, that was just beautiful back to back. And listen, we got levels left and right on these 5-minute charts. And they are extremely helpful in determining the limit of the move. This was a crab that off of that retest from 270 to 276 straight to the hop level. That was it. Again, you can only get these levels with the software. These are the true harmonic levels, and you see why they work so well. That's why we give it away the free trials to everybody for the software, because it doesn't take long to see this stuff in action, and then come over to the Discord or come to the seminar on the 30th. I'll show you guys stuff that I'm doing now. I probably have replaced 80% of the futures trading with this kind of option stuff. So I've been, I was trading futures a lot more actively earlier this year. Now I'm about these options. More so than ever. I've traded options for 20 years or more. But now I'm focusing like a laser on this. Do check that out. A couple things that I'm looking at right now in addition to those kind of setups, and maybe we get one more setup on Meta on those 290 calls. I'm looking at Netflix down here. All right. Let that come off here. These are nice corrective moves, and you get a return thrust. There's patterns after patterns. One of the things that I see with bearish patterns a lot in bullish uptrends is you get the reaction, but we're going to get the return. And I'm looking down here on Netflix calls. Maybe it's a type 2 down to 395. I don't expect much more than that, but that is another situation to set you up, let it flush out, and then get the return move back like that. And I still say we are so far along in this uptrend recovery move, and I've talked about why we continue to target 5-minute setups within this uptrend is because minimum daily targets still have a ways to go. I mean, a ways to go. And I think Netflix is one of those, goes to the all-time 618 at 500. Maybe by the summer, maybe by the fall, but the trend is up. And you play it with those targets. Keep an eye on that one. Again, I like that. Netflix, 395 area. Of course, Meta, Microsoft. Here's another one that I think is playing catch up here. Amazon's trying to make a pop today. Listen, couple of patterns right off the low here, but this is where the pattern just starts. I mean, the pattern completion is here, but no confirmation. So I'm looking between 124, 139, and favoring that. I think 130 and change is an easy move. There's really not a lot here. You're nowhere close yet on HSI on the daily, and amplified continues to stay overbought. So 5-minute setups, little dot pullbacks. Eyes on that right now. You've got a couple of Yeah, pushing forward to another 1618, a little bit higher, maybe 127.31 for today, and just continue the stair step. I mean, bearish pattern, reaction, and then continuation. Then continue it as we've done time and time again throughout this whole move. So the other thing about something like Amazon, we've talked about it before. You've got a couple patterns here on the daily, the weekly has some minimum profit objectives like 122.39 for Amazon was just last week, but look at the price action. Weekly price action making new highs, okay, already for the week. I don't expect 122.39 to be retested until we generate some kind of weekly overbought signal, and that's as high. Again, I think that could make a run to 147. Maybe not get there, but it's going to make a run. We've seen that in Microsoft and Nvidia and now Amazon and Tesla. Okay, sitting right at, came right back to 220. That was here. Look at these 5-minute pullbacks. There's Tesla again doing it this morning. Okay, after the market opens, there's your first dot. Good for 5. And 5 points, that's a great move. Oh, that's regular traded. There's extended hours. That's better. So I don't expect that to stop. I think Tesla, this 221 area, 26, listen, we get a big fat breakout above 222, 223. This is, believe it or not, just starting. And if we trace, just connect the dots going back like 1 year from the August high. This is really not that difficult of a call. You have your X, you have your A and B at a 54%, C at a 54%, take you to a B point breakout, which is happening right now, 218, goes up to that 886. Look, all the things converging. And I mean converging, not confluence, converging. Why? They're targeting one exact area, location. 290. 290 on Tesla. 290. That's not crazy to think. And just how long will it take? Look, all of these are setting up for July moves into their earnings. I mean, it's going to be I think, a spectacular earnings season because you're going to get big moves into earnings because these are underowned. People do not own the big funds don't own enough Amazon, Meta, Microsoft even. I think Nvidia is showing you what can happen when that takes shape. I mean, it's a massive God candle, wake it up and let's go. But that's what's going on here. And we're early. Look, being early, I've always said this, like a lot of times, especially the low floater trades, I'm early and it kills me and I get a drawdown. Unnecessary. Okay, this is late stage catch-up acceleration stuff. And going into earnings, which are 5-6 weeks away, maybe 7, sets up the perfect option follow-through continuation play. That's the kind of environment you want to be in. There you go. So Tesla added to the list. Now, we need to expand this list because I think these other techs are going to start to expand with it. Here's one that's gotten away from us. It's Twilio. All right. I don't really care so much about 47 to 67. That's a great move, but look at the weekly chart on this. Okay, 47 to 20 to 67 is nothing. This looks like a crypto. when you're dealing with massive, I mean, back-to-back pattern structures, formations. And that's a tough one because you're barely back into that major zone of all of those levels. But if this thing's going to crack off of the low and break out, 200 is target one. It's not crazy. I mean, all we were thinking Tesla 225 was crazy 6 months ago, but that was target one off the bat pattern. It bottomed and exploded. Why won't these do it? Why wouldn't these massive techs come in here and finally resolve that massive bear market? Here's Roku on a weekly. It's an all-time 886 retracement. We've seen that. Reset it, start over, let's go again. There's your little shark. At least you're getting some mini patterns, but Roku 6270, great. I'll jump to crypto in a second, but we got to look at Coinbase. Okay, they threw it down, and this is something I've been saying, and I think I'm a buyer here, despite all of the potential. They're going to sue, whatever. I mean, and believe me, crypto is so disappointing right now. This last throwdown is probably, I think, more painful than even at last year, because it's just going to drag out the time. But we have said all along on Coinbase, 49 at the hop level of this big crab has been a floor, and I'm going to watch it. They threw it down this morning, and they're holding 49 again. 49.60. Keep an eye on that one, because I'm not being dismissive on crypto. I'm just stretching out the time frame. I mean, just forget it. Forget target ones on all of this stuff. I'll get to that in a second on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Forget it. I'm not concerned about it. I'm just saying target one is now been pushed off. Like, this stuff is just going to go sideways until you get that cycle to kick in on Bitcoin. Regardless, okay, I want to stick to the levels. There's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of reason not to be even looking at this. But here we are, like fourth time at the hop level at 48. It's either this or it's basically zero, in my opinion. Either those are tough situations. But look, I'm not taking my eye off any of this, because if this is really a new tech run, it'll spread out. It'll play catch up. It'll get ugly, in certain areas. But look, here's Apple. Apple just nominally went to all-time new highs. Okay, backed off a little bit. Eye on Apple. Because look, another 5-minute sell-off. Anything down here? Yeah, some midday dots down there, 177. I doubt Apple's going to be a one-time run to 183 and then just comes right back. But go like this. There you go. Hourly, Apple is at another HSI oversold limit. I'm starting to look at 5-minute opportunities after a 1 hour dot. Look, there, here. Okay, every 1 hour dot has been giving you at least 1 day's, 2 days worth of continuation. Last one from the 23rd, that kicked off a whole nother move. But that's the kind of thing as well I'll be talking about in that options seminar, because we need to have some signals at our back. We want to be bouncing. We want to be like, if we're in calls, we better be in an uptrend after a little retracement with some 5-minute patterns. There's other ones, other longer term plays that I want to look at. I'm looking at things like Airbnb. Okay, it's a little bit slower move, but clearly this isn't a BAM breakout, and I'll talk about these situations too. Look at Airbnb. I think this is another one where don't expect much, but when this does break out and it's trying to do stuff. You know, it's trying to like break, really stabilize in this zone. And this looks like, this low right here looks like a shakeout, a big shakeout low that could be a permanent low that, much like a lot of these markets that we've seen, if October was the shakeout move, and I recommend that everyone looks at your weekly, monthly charts, okay, then we're going to probably be in the midst of just a strong, impulsive 1618 move as everyone tries to play catch up and back to the 50% level. The strongest of stocks will go to new highs. The ugly ones will stabilize like this and at least do a 50% bear market recovery. Airbnb is one. Twillo is another. Although Twillo, I would love to have that about 10 points lower. In the semi space, where these are up again today, and AMD had pulled off nicely, and look what happened. Beautiful move here. You know, we've been, I think the semis are another place to be looking that traditionally haven't moved as hard as, you know, Meta, Amazon, but are about to. AMD, no reason why it doesn't go back to retest the all-time high, the recent high, around 130. Looking at that, this was a hourly or, yeah, we just had a recent oversold reading down here at around 117. There was, I forget what was there. It was something there. Maybe it was Applied Materials, AMAT, 4 hour. Yeah, there you go. AMAT looks like it wants to run up as high as 138 because on the 4 hour we had an oversold trigger. And semis look like just like the rest of them. Listen, look at that deep crab. Beautiful. Now, if we connect dots on Applied Materials, and this is like so many, this is in an impulsive, extreme wave. You go to the 886. 157. Just shy of 160. A lot going on. I talked about this with in our gold member session yesterday that I think if you're in the crypto space, you're going to have to make some accommodation or you're going to be sitting on your hands for a long time. Definitely. Be aware of that situation that if you're only crypto, you're probably not going to see action until really start at best until the end of next year, or end of this year, and maybe start next year with the Bitcoin halving. Why? When we got stuff like this and major targets being reached or exceeded, just kind of firing up the whole deal. I mean, there's a lot to be said for being flexible and trading multiple markets, if it's crypto, stocks, options, futures, currencies, because not all markets are running at the same time in the same way. It's probably half our job as traders. Half our job is, finding the right areas that are setting up, if not more. I do think 80% of all trading mistakes are made in identification. Trying to identify the right situation, and you don't identify it properly according to your model. That's why we have the software. A couple of more. I do want to get into stuff like where'd it go? NVIDIA and Intel on a lesser note, but there's NVIDIA selling off right now. But look, we've got some things down here. Where was it? It was big deep crab right off the top. And the XA level on that crab, it's kind of stretched out, but it's right around 388. Hop level around 381. So 1 and then back down for the 2. to get to 407. This might be better on like a 30-minute. There you go. I've seen a lot of people say this is a Head and Shoulders. Where did I see that? Someone tried to say this is a Head and Shoulders, like right here. Again, this is something that I don't agree with. People saying, okay, it's gone too far, too fast, Head and Shoulders, and now it's going to break down. And I'm actually of the opinion that no, this is starting something. I definitely want to wait for these drawdowns, these pullbacks. Okay, but this is either a massive breakaway gap or it's a total failure. On the daily chart, that's either a massive breakaway gap where you pause and then you continue from that high point here. You got to go to the weekly for NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is like Microsoft. It's the Microsoft of the semis. There's your weekly chart. No follow through on the breakout, but I'm really not too concerned about that. If this was really bearish, we would have given most of that candle back last week. Monthly chart looks like that. So no doubt we would take a little bit of time, but I'm still on a longer term basis, folks. The way we have to interpret these larger moves and look at the market as a whole. Just ask yourself, is this a strong stock or not? I think we would all say this is a strong stock. So if it is a breakout, is this just going to go to a 113 and be a failed breakout? Or is this something larger? And it's a big candle. I mean, that's a massive explosion God candle, if you will, right at the 1.0. You closed above it. Yeah, maybe you would have been better if you would have closed above 400. But even reading that early on, I would still favor a 1618 expansion. And that, again, gets you to 490. And then come back. And then do a 382. Something like that. And go again. That's the framework. You apply that framework over and over again as a 5-minute time frame, hourly, weekly, monthly, doesn't matter. That's how we're going to look at these. That's how they unfold over and over again. And look at your monthly. Okay? You're hitting overbought, but you haven't rolled out. You're not even out of there yet. I equate the current reading, I equate this reading here, even though it's overbought, we need HSI completely out. I equate it to like where we were here on NVIDIA. Amazing, and that was just the start of a massive 3x move in 2 years, triple. The other thing I will look for on NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is as important as the QQQ. Okay, that's the AI trade. Is this hype or is this really going to create a new cycle? You'll know very soon. But we'll watch this. Watch Amplified on the monthly. Very important. Still looking for opportunities in there. So get with it. Be aware of where we are in the framework of the whole tech, mega tech outlook. And forget everything else that people are talking about. How far are we in this framework and how far can we potentially go? It's either a 113 failure and that's it on NVIDIA, or this is a breakout, goes to the 1618 and others go to the 886. And I'm favoring the latter scenario. Here's another one that's just a monster. It's Palo Alto Networks. Okay, folks, that's an uptrend. That's a monthly uptrend. We need to find more of these. All right, that is just That's not the end of a move. That's the beginning of the next leg. Think of that as like an ABCD in development. Go here, off of, say, the COVID low. This is more like, right down to a 48, and that gets you to more like a 2.0 extension. And again, go to 300 on this breakout move. Palo Alto Networks, another great one. I just have to be patient with these. But get them on your radar. Okay, look for the pullbacks. Look for stuff like this. And I'm going to try to highlight one or two before I get out of here. But 5-minute patterns like that, even back-to-back, type 2s preferably, meaning you've already gone through the reaction phase like that and come back for the retest, and you have another pattern here, and then go. But a lot going on. I mean, really, this kind of second tier tech just really taken off. Like NVIDIA, here's Arista Networks. Okay, here is a 5-minute setup, exactly as I was saying before. Give me some back-to-back patterns. Give me a little bit of a pullback. What's the 1 hour, 4 hour time frame look like? Okay, Arista Networks just trying to put in a yellow dot as we started today's session. 4 hour time frame. There's a yellow dot in the 4 hour time frame. Real nice. Jeez, look at that. Amazing. Little alternate bat at 130. But we're down here at 159 is that hop level. Start looking at that. That's the kind of move with these techs that will spread out. These are going to spread out. This tech move, as people continue to pile in and catch up, and the big funds, they're not going to discriminate. They're just going to go to the top 10. Go to Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Netflix, and run these, because I think most people agree we're going to try to get an all-time retest across the board. And so stick with the big boys, and that's what they're doing. Here's something else I wanted to update. BABA, folks. We were looking for a retest back down to that 82. We got it. And this is it's a massive weekly pattern. Look at that. 77.64. And we're going to put in a yellow dot this week. That's big stuff. Early. Oh, no. Sorry. We put in a yellow dot Friday's close. 77.64. The low was 77.77, but we already tested all of that area. It's more about the dot. Now 86. This is going to take more time, but target one is 157. This is another one of those. Has really languished for a while, but it's going to start to try to make a move. This is like Twilio before the move. This is like Amazon or Google at 93. So look for that reaction. I'm not a fan of it myself. I hear you, but we're just playing patterns. We're just looking for patterns. Really quick, banks. Let's focus on Bank of America. What's that doing? What's Bank of America look like now? A lot better than 4 weeks ago. Actually, it was more like 8 weeks ago. I tried to catch the knife. Okay, right there at 28. And we had a nice little bump, came right back, and I said, hold out. Too many banks failing. Let's give it a little more time. I'm feeling better about this. 2 weeks ago, we got a yellow dot on the weekly. Last week, we retested that level and then put in a bullish candle. That's good stuff. That's early reaction material. Go to 35, 36. By the way, that's how this market is going to spread out. You're going to see energy, you're going to see banks catch a bid. And when they do, that's when you get the Dow and the other broader indices to move. But I like Bank of America, and I'll share one of my new 3 ideas with folks. Charles Schwab, massive Gartley. Okay, this is still a long-term uptrend. 50% correction within, let's back it up. There you go. Okay, Schwab, it's one of the first stocks I ever bought. Let this be a lesson for you buy and holders. I'll show you guys where I bought Schwab. I bought the first day I ever traded, I bought 3 stocks. It was Charles Schwab, it was Novellus Systems, and it was, I think it was Interpublic Group. Should have bought and held that, but whatever. I think it was 100 shares at like 30. It was trading at 30 back in 1992. But here's Schwab. I like that now. I like it now more than 4 weeks ago. You had a dot. You had a little follow through. This could be the week that starts it. Go to the monthly chart just to get an idea. What's the magnitude of this? That's quarterly. That's not a bad one to look at, quarterly chart. The monthly, better. Yellow dot right there at target 1. And check out what's going on here for Schwab. It's an all-time crab pattern. Even if you were to pull off of that all-time high, amazing. But this did a type 1 reaction to 49.58, and now we put in a yellow dot on the monthly. Much better than 4 weeks ago. So if this market's going to spread out, go to the banks, go to energy. These are good signs for initial stabilization and then a return to retest that crab at 68 minimum. Whatever the dot is between 68 and 85, but wherever the dot is. But these have turned a corner. Turned a corner. All right, let me show you. First trade I ever made. 1992. Gosh, it was like, I think it was like spring of 92. So there was something like, where was it? Here you go. May or April. Where was it? It was somewhere like, maybe it was a summer. It was like right in here. And split adjusted, sure. 50 cents, split adjusted. So I remember back then it was 100 shares it was trading at a split adjusted like 30. I think I'd have to go back and look, but it was somewhere like, it was 92. It was like, I think it was like mid 92. And I remember taking a drawdown on it of like $3, and it came right back, and I sold it for a couple bucks, and then I just did that for about, it went from split adjusted 50 cents to, at the high 40, 100x. So let that be a lesson, really. Is Novellus Systems, does that even trade? That was a semiconductor. Doesn't even trade anymore. I'll have to look that one up. And Interpublic Group, I think that was IPG. Yeah, Interpol. Nice chart on that one. Amazing. Look at that. This is an amazing chart. All right, so just show you guys. So I first started buying stocks back in 92. Was just out of college, just starting to mess around with the day trading thing. So 92, Interpublic Group. I think it was like where's 92? It was like down in here. And no, I had no clue of harmonics or Fibonacci, or even at that point, I was doing trend lines and breakouts and fundamental analysis. But that was another one at like $100 a share and did the huge move. But amazingly, look at that. Had I sat on that from 92 all the way to '01, huge, 6x or more. But then only within the next decade to give it all back. Gave it all back. So really, the progress and the money made was just in the last 15 years. Could have gone through that whole cycle, had a big 6x or more, and given it all back. Easiest way to deal with stuff like that, especially your long-term runners, is when they break trend lines. Pretty clear. And no one ever went broke taking profits. These are all real-time assessments, things you have to consider. But I think that's amazing. It's still trading there. And hey, look at the massive monthly bat pattern and look at what that did. The monthly bat pattern bottomed in '02. It took 8 years to finally break out. And, now you're at target 2. It all works the same way, folks. Type 1, type 2, if it's 5-minute or monthly here. Brandon Vega says he was 2 years old in 1992. Not bad. Good time to be born, really. Those 90s, that was a fun decade. 80s, okay, 80s were more fun. And I'm sure people of the 70s would say the same thing as the 60s would and all of that. I don't know about the 50s, but it's been interesting. Okay, check it out. Here's Meta, our 290 calls, folks. Before I go to crypto, yeah, here you go. Your full reset, full return of that pattern. And take a look. Those are the 290s. And even if we wanted to go to the 280s, let's see what that is. Does it have a pattern? Because we need patterns on all of this. And there you go. The 280s might be better because it'd be less vulnerable to a total loss. But there's a type 2 of 2 for the Meta 280s. And type 1, right back for 2. And you had another pattern, so you're doing the 2 of 2 again. You're at 110. This might go as low as these two hops, 89 to 78. Keep an eye on that, but that's a perfect example of patterns into patterns with the options. Again, June 30, we're going to be doing that a lot. We'll do a full session, and it'll be live. It'll be Friday, the 30th at 10 a.m., and we'll do the educational part, but I'll be scanning actively for setups on that expiration day, if not setting up for the following week. So join us there. Either it's all new subscribers, new purchasers, upgrades, whatever. You get on the Discord. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Miss Stephanie on the Discord. And Miss Stephanie, if you're here, yeah, I will get you the information to be able to share with them. Ivan says he didn't exist yet. You were not even a twinkle in the eye, as they say. James says he was 20. So James, you were around for the 70s and 80s. They were fun. I mean, it's amazing to talk about, life before cell phones and internet, or even life before remote control TV. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing for me to say that, but life before remote control TV. You think about that, folks. We would take turns with the channel changer. One person sat next to the TV to continually go from 3, 6, and 10. So if you think you got problems today, go back and be the channel changer, especially when you got older brothers. Netflix, let's take a look. Looking for that. We were looking for that a little bit lower, but that's another one where, again, for the week, we're letting that come in. Where's the hourly? Nothing there yet. Oh, before, I don't want to go too much time on that one, but check out, I do want to mention Intel, because I mentioned this a week or so ago. I started a long position on this. All right, there's a 4-hour chart And this was, I've been really talking about this since mid-May. There's a beautiful 4-hour Gartley. Look, if we come back one more time, and I don't care if it's you're in at 30 or 29 or 28 or even if it's 27, that should be it. And then you go. If we get that. Here's the weekly. And this is another example of just absolutely brutalized megatech cap setting up with massive patterns that I want to be positioning off of. This will be a slow mover, but listen, 41.36 is, I don't think that's really a stretch. Yeah. So these are big opportunities. This is a lot like Meta on Microsoft when they had big patterns. I think even, isn't there a monthly here? Is that showing up on the monthly chart? No, that's not on the monthly, but we do have overbought, oversold confirmation right down here. Okay, HSI. So I like Intel. I think it's a slow mover, but these are going to catch bids. The other one was Taiwan Semi, which hasn't moved as much. There you go, as some of the others. Go to the weekly, but that's just long-term uptrend. Last year was a simple 1 year, one and done bear market retracement within the long-term uptrend. Okay, there is much like what you saw in 2018, just on a different scale. That's how we need to be thinking about that. And once we get to the 886 and then the 1618, those are the two mini targets we'll assess. But I don't think anything changes here. The semis are definitely one of the places to be positioning and looking for this as well to make a run to all-time new highs, if not just the 886. I mean, hey, that goes to a 2.0, that is an 886, and that is 30-40% higher from current levels. That's where we are. Taiwan Semi, TSM. Some of the ones that haven't moved as much as NVIDIA, but they will because they have a ways to go. And the whole group's going to move. There's AMD, weekly. Anything overbought at 122? Not yet. Maybe a monthly's better. Yeah. I mean, there's no confirmation. There's your monthly chart. Again, AMD 886 up there at 155. The other thing that helps these, they all, right at the bottom, we had big patterns at the lows here. So I think these set up in this regard, we will be looking for that 886 retest probably this year. And then if next year we get into that presidential cycle, that becomes something, that's where you can see the market really open up. And I mentioned that last time. Whole lot of cyclical, historic, statistical evidence for a strong market next year. And that's already, we set up this year, we set up next year. Last year will be distant memory. One or two more. Before I get out of here, a couple of the old economy stocks that I've been mentioning that have been working remarkably well, not as volatile, but really clearly defined levels. Here's Philip Morris. It's a beautiful type 2. Okay, looking for that. Give me a 3-bar breakout here, 3-bar continuation. You had one right there 2 days ago, but no follow through. So you need to see this thing really get above 92. If you want to wait on that and wait for the breakout, that would be fine. Get above here and we go back to 100. Whole bunch of these really have come together like that, where they're, not exciting, super exciting, but the levels work out really well. I think the volatility is in your favor in terms of requiring less risk. Before I jump to crypto, I need to show everyone crude oil, energy, XLE, okay, because we are in this final retest phase of some big patterns, 2 of 2s, and we don't want to be complacent. Type 1 on XLE, we know that's reaction. Come on down, type 2, 1618 at 76.21, almost hit. The low is 76.25, and we bounced, almost 10% off of that level. So that is something, that level and that area is critical for XLE. And the longer this goes sideways, the better. I don't care if it doesn't do much, because your weekly looks like this. But you basically want this thing to grind sideways to higher, holding these lows off of these patterns. And just 1 or 2 of things to be looking at: crude oil area, energy sector. Here's CVX. I already mentioned this once before. It's a daily setup, type 2, Gartley. Okay, slow mover, but checkbacks there. Everything you want to see is there, except for where'd the pattern go. Sorry. Hold on. Let me see this. CVX. Daily. I don't know why it's not on the other one. There it is. High level Gartley. Right there. That's better. 152.47 was the hop. So this is just a matter of a breakout move above last week's high, 158. That sets it in full motion. Full motion. Keep an eye on that one, because if that can get going and the other ones can stabilize, turn around, that's how the market broadens out. And one more before I go to the diamonds and crypto, because I do need to flash up what the Dow looks like. The other crude oil, was it Conoco? Yeah, Conoco, but not there yet. Conoco is another big 2 of 2, not there yet. Marathon Oil, MRO. Yeah, just stabilizing in here. I think these will get tested. They will have a thorough test. It's very close. Is it going to be something like this, though? A big drop down in and then confirms. And that's kind of the thing where it might drag out, but don't take your eye off it, because this is a big 2 of 2, no matter what. And I think if it's going to hold here, then it holds the long term. Like, there's your monthly, okay? Here's monthly marathon. Amazing 2 of, look at that. It was a perfect 2 of 2. Deep crab. But the interesting thing now, after this retracement from back in October, we're publishing a lot of HSI oversold readings. So maybe this is just a corrective move. Still early, but that's what I'm looking at. I think it's, energy is not to be dismissed. Really quick, the industrials. So how are we going to get this market to be an explosive runner? And I mean like new highs across the board and really blow you out. The diamonds, so I had that big day last week. We know we have long-term levels that we're squeezed against that. 318, 320s, general support going forward for the diamonds. And you are generally looking for the diamonds to make a retest to the all-time new highs. It's, if we connect dots, if not above to the 113, you have a shark here that your numbers work out quite well right there. I mean, it's almost exact, 375. That suggests the Dow will make a run to all-time new highs, regardless of all of this chop in here and what's been happening. We're going to bust out. We're going to bust out of this wedge, and we're going to make a run to complete this pattern. I think we already did the first kind of fake out move, but that was back in October. It's just taking its time. We'll bust that, and it'll come with the banks, and it'll come with crude oil. And we'll make the run to all-time new highs, and then we'll see. But that's still 10% above where we are currently. Stay with it. Nothing, really, we haven't even retested the last bearish readings. And that's up at, those are up at 345. Keep an eye on that. That's the only thing that hasn't happened. The industrials, maybe the Russell too. The only things that haven't happened. Last one, Russell. IWM. Look at this. Okay, weekly chart. Nothing since for a year. 167 to 187, range bound. Take a look at your daily chart. This is the Russell. We did have a perfect type 2, 169. That was back in May. So, and I haven't looked at the Russell in a while, but at least for now and with today's move, that's a nice breakout. 187. So even in that muted range, the Russell looks like it wants to try to climb higher, maybe the 190s. Keep an eye on all of that. I really think that's, we'll know. We'll really see if this is going to be just a range-bound thrust or something more. Okay, let's do it. Top 10 crypto, and then I got to get out of here. Bitcoin. Right back to the 26.3 level. Okay. Made a new low for the move. Put in a little Gartley back-to-back kind of a thing. I'm not really concerned about it other than the fact that you can't expect much. If this is going to continue to drag and you're not even going to make progress off of all these patterns at 26.3 and be super sloppy like that, then I think I've got probably requires that we look for other opportunities like I've been talking about in those options, or looking for bigger moves in tech. Or finally, if the broader markets, old economies start to catch a bid too, all of this will move better than crypto. And the crypto thing is about timing. All market trading is about timing, really. But if you want to be at that spot where this is going to give you another thrust move, it's probably after a whole lot of consolidation, 30 weeks, what have you, 30 days. I mean, this is, still just grinding at a high level. And I do think that the 27,000 support range has to hold where you are on this kind of longer term uptrend. You have to be on that. That has to be your assumption if you are thinking Bitcoin's going to continue and you're going to eventually reach for your target ones off of the crab, which is 37.2. You have to hold here. And I think, the more you go down and you retest scrape this 26, 27 level, the longer you're going to take. There's a lot of things there that say this should be a continuation range, but you see a lot of major coins making new lows and Bitcoin grinding sideways. Not to say that's not going to be something. It might not be anything until next year. In that time, you're have made the best use of these current markets So crypto looking like a dud. I don't think you can expect anything even till the 21st of June. Here we go again. But that's what it is. And so if you're at 26 or 28, it really doesn't matter. Here's Ethereum, same deal, just holding 1800, and we've said that it would. Ethereum, every time it gets to this HSI daily across the board, it's holding, but you're not in any leg yet. You're not, we're looking for that continuation move after this sideways consolidation. At least the low yesterday was higher than the prior two, and that's if I can take anything constructive away from yesterday's sell-off, it's that. Target 1 for the crab on Ethereum is still 24.37. And I'm still comfortable with saying that as long as you don't violate, say, 1700. All right, we're gonna have to start raising stops again, where this is just taking so much time that if we just continue to roll over, it's going to be just a lot more time, unfortunately. And you might hold this larger range going into next year, but in that time, you go nowhere. I don't want to go anywhere. I mean, I do want to go places. I want to do things. I don't want to sit and watch crypto bleed for the next year. So I'll focus my time more so on, say, options, and keep my eye on other markets in crypto, but, just not taking shape. And here's Binance Coin, and I said Binance Coin, I said it really needs to hold 300. It just, I don't care what it does, but it needs to hold above 300. What does it do? It fails 300. I think I just saw a bat pattern try to get flashed. So I'm no longer a fan until I see some kind of confirmation. 280 is not the number, folks. 305 was the support number it needed to hold. And so Binance Coin, another bleeder. It was really all about getting above 400 to fire up the long term. Well, come on back down. I need to see another yellow dot down here, and that could be as low as 230, 228, maybe even as low as 200 again, because this did nothing. You have this crazy flush to target 1. If this is really a target 2, going to go to 496. Not until you put in another dot. And your weekly dots aren't good either. I mean, you could not get above this area. So I don't expect a huge amount, but I'm certainly not looking for this to do anything for a while. And again, maybe just set a price alert for a breakout above 400 or 405, 398, something like that, and just wait to play that move. We know that'll be acceleration once it happens. It's just, how many months are you going to spend down here? Not months that I want to be a part of. Number 4, let's make it Cardano, because now more than ever, Cardano is going to come back to 28 cents, and that's going to be your 2 of 2. And when you get there, I'll say, great that no one jumped in and FOMO'd at 40 or 45 cents, because here we go again. And I will not even think about that until 28 cents. And maybe Cardano will be a big opportunity down there, but it's there. It's not anywhere here. There's no long position. It's a beautiful pattern, but sorry, Cardano, you're coming in for a retest. And you're coming in for a retest maybe as low as 25 cents. And until then, I'll see you later. Really. Final one, number 5, XRP. Look, this is just revving. It's revving. A big move up to 55. They smacked it back down. right back. I mean, the 10% moves each way every day are, this is insane. But it's also all about 90 cents for XRP. So wherever you are down here, you're trying to get to target one, 92 cents. And the rest of this and yesterday and the day before, all of that noise. I think if you can get XRP and you want to be an owner of XRP, you need to wait for setups like what we had back in April. A couple of HSI dots. There's the last HSI confirmation was 45 cents. That's a great move to 55, but only if you sell it. If you're going to hold that and you expect up and down. At least this bat pattern right there, that's a type 2 officially. And notice that we're back-to-back patterns, even off the low. We have this crab pattern at 58, 55, and a bullish pattern at 33. And you're squeezed there. I think you have to get above that pattern, above 60 cents, before you can see any fireworks. Until then, it's up, it's down. It's not doing anything but that. Okay, one or two more that personally I've looked at. Here's Gala, and I gotta think this concerns me. I gotta think that this perfect shark pattern that we have now retested, they tried to flush it out. I don't want to see it any lower than where it was yesterday. Otherwise, you go all the way back to 1.5 cents. I mean, this was not a bad thought, and we've been looking at that at 2.89 cents, right at that hop level for a while, and just did a dud reaction sideways and then got flushed. And that is what's going on in crypto. If you have not printed a pattern or you're trying to hold into some support, nothing. And so then you've got to look at a lot of these, especially the ones that were just a quick push and rug pull. Where's the 886? I hate to say that, but 886 is back at 2 cents on that. Not a heck of a lot of reason to really sink your teeth into anything. Even the ones that I've suggested, I was like, hey, let's look at some that are moving, like Ocean. Okay, because I was thinking, yeah, maybe this thing is going to finally catch a bid on this trend line and get some kind of continuation. Well, this is a problem. This lower high is a problem. And with Ocean, if you're under 29 cents anytime soon, you come all the way back down. Which means what? Which means January was a fluff rug pull. That's it. For the ones that ran, it was just a rug pull, a 3-month, 6-month rug pull. A couple others. What was the other one? Was it Phantom? Things that I thought maybe had a no, that's not even it. And I would say even with Phantom, tough to see, but you do have like a bat formation here, where I have to assume that this consistent breakdown since March eventually gets you to like a bat pattern. That's probably the best way to be looking at that at 23 cents. There's more to go. There's definitely more to go there. Who said Kava? JP said Kava. I think all of these. I just don't. I think you've got. We already knew it was going to take time, but now this is what the. Oh, that's Cadena. But there you go. That thing is new lows for the move. Here's Kava, and maybe I can get a better feed for that. Something longer term. There's Kava. Kava comes back. Look, nothing there. Another retest of that pattern support at 80 cents. So what this says is you're going to go through more consolidation. And I wouldn't even look at crypto unless you do have a great pattern here, but then we get a full retest. We've been looking for type 2s, 2 of 2s, with confirmation, but they're not doing it. And like Cardano, and like a lot of the ones that haven't reached there yet, I think you got to wait for those. Like Cardano would have to go down and complete the 2 of 2, all right, to really be a signal. And same thing with this Kava. Go back to 40 cents. Go back to 50 cents now. You're not going to do it. You're going to go sideways for 6 months. That's not strength. I mean, there's pattern completion all the way back there. You know, we're day 206. All right, you got it. I'll get Zcash. Zcash, no, it's the same one. And in fact, it's a great pattern. It's a great pattern. 34, everything, it's not doing anything. That was another one. There's another one really not liking that. At 34.60 was where we started to look. Have some confirmation down here, 32, 32.50, 34.50. Yeah, that's been the target the whole time. Don't like it now. I don't like the fact that you retest it, and then what do you do for 30 days? New low, new low, new low. New low for the move. You're probably scratching that out. I think you're scratching that out because at this point, it probably goes for the hop. Disappointing. Extremely disappointing. And maybe they're going to melt it down before the big move. All-time lows for Zcash are all the way back at 17. There's nothing stopping that. It just is in a bad spot. We knew this would take time, but the fact that it just did a U-turn, sorry. And the other one that I like in that space is Compound. We were waiting for those patterns to get hit forever. I think it was 30. Yeah, okay, Compound. Oh, good. Compound. So Compound came back to 30. And now we got some more back-to-backs. Whole lot of stuff there. Even yellow dot confirmation on Compound. And that's terminal bars 30, 33 on the Shark. But why? Unless maybe you're going to trade it and go to target 1. You know, that would be nice, but there's not a heck of a lot there. There's not a lot there, especially when other things are moving like they're moving. So take that, please, especially crypto fanatics. I don't know how people are still in business, quite frankly, on some of these crypto, and I'll just highlight one of them that I think is representative of a lot of the really low-tier crypto, and it's Hex. All right, we knew Hex had problems and whatever the move was on Hex. You know, I don't even understand it, and they switched it out. But monetarily, okay, I never really understood how these people were swapping things out. And at the end of the day, did you really make money? Because this underlying asset of Hex, which is now Pulse Chain, real easy for you to get rug pulled. I'd rather get rug pulled in options, folks, okay, than anything else. Because I know markets are going to function properly, and if I do my analysis correctly, you know, I'm going to usually get myself in a good spot. This crypto, this is zombie asset. Definition is zombie assets. There's Pulse Chain, spot price. Great, went from 30 to 130 back to 30. That's rug pull. I don't expect that to stay at 40 cents or what. That'll go right back to where it is. That's just market mechanics. And the market mechanics in crypto are not favorable for movement of any type. Not yet. You're looking for a moon? Not going to happen for a while. Looking even for shorts, there's better shorts out there. I'd rather try to short Microsoft or Netflix than any of these crypto. I mean, maybe Binance Coin's worth a shot because that looks like it's going to go back to 200, but these are in a bad relative position. Yesterday did some damage. All right, last one, VE chain. $190, $180. We know that's the deal. Okay, but the problem with this as well, massive pattern down here. I think it's, again, this is a favorite crypto. It's a T coin by definition. It's a top 100, 90+%, 98%, whatever. All of the terminal bars, all the numbers we've been looking at were generally like 2.3, 2.4 cents. You were as low as 1.8. You're at 1.87 at the moment. And even if that goes, even if it holds these lows, there's nothing really there that suggests this is going to start a type 1 reaction anytime soon. So you're going sideways. Maybe it goes up 10 or 20% from 1.8 to 2 or 2.2. But that's all that's going on here. And you can go back to even, we can go back to like 2019, where you went from 19 all the way into 20. You did nothing. That's the kind of basing formation that needs to happen. It's just, that's not constructive. I'll tell you what's constructive is when you're able to put in a higher low or even a higher HSI reading and start to do some breakout moves. Down here, you're swimming with the fishes. That's it. It's not, look, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody, and I'm always going to keep my eye open on the crypto space. But with that rollover kind of nothing move yesterday, it does not really lend itself to any kind of construction of a new uptrend or even supporting, reaffirming recent support that was established back in January. If anything, it just wants to probably go back and retest those structural lows from the end of last year. Not where you want to be. Again, where you want to be are on option plays with Megatech, the Qs, the SPYs, and then, spread it out to other stocks once they start getting really moving. We'll do more of that. Look, just be patient on this crypto, okay? Yesterday, again, really was not what you're looking for. And the amount of time that this has taken as well begins to kind of really wear out any support argument for now. I think you have to come back to that and wait for this pattern. Wait for that pattern to play out. You're even to the right of the downtrend. You are, just now you're barely 30 weeks to the right of that downtrend. All the time in the world on crypto. I know people are looking for opportunities there, and we'll cite them, but use Cardano as the role model. When Cardano does the type 2, folks, all right, then I'll be looking at crypto. But Cardano is like the one thing that has really been hanging out there that needs a retest. So the market's not going to move until all of these get into position to really do something. Yeah. Crypto Mushrooms is saying coin is getting hammered today. It is, but it's at a point. Look, I said that when we started today's session, and do look at that, it's right back at the level. It's right back at the big hop level at 49, and it's holding. Okay, even this stock, in terms of stock as like a crypto stock versus the rest of the market, this crypto stock exemplifies what crypto has done. Stuck in a range, sizable moves, 30, 40, 60%, but then only comes right back down. So I haven't made any long-term progress on this, but if you're looking for an inflection low down here at 49 bucks, $48, I'll be looking at Coinbase. Some kind of turnaround. A range-bound move, but that's it. But be patient with it. I'm not adding to any crypto right now. And unless I see something dramatic set up, I probably won't add to crypto for most of the summer. I will sit back and let that thing fall apart if that's what's going to do. But you bought more time. And there's Bitcoin up 1,000 today. Great. Okay, down 1,000, up 1,000. Expect that, but you go nowhere. More on that on Thursday. We'll get into the crypto miners. I do like them, but at the right price. The rest of it, join us over on the Discord. I'll be in the public Discord tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten with us, get with the basic membership. Get the software. Everybody. Okay, TradingView, HPC at sr-analyst.com. And then get the eSignal program for options. Thursday, I'll have all the information for June 30, okay? Get with us then. You have any questions, get over to the Discord. Until then, we'll see everybody on Thursday. We'll give away some software and a book or two. Thanks again, everybody. As always, go get them. We'll see you Thursday.